Sahir Galt here, and we're going to take a look at Lunar Lander. The company behind it recently reached out, asked if I would do a review and walkthrough, and generously offered to sponsor this video. As always, I'm going to give you my sober thoughts and impressions and show you how I'd use it. So, Lunar Lander is a 3-in-1 plugin: saturation, reverb, and delay. From that description, you can probably see where the name comes from. Certainly conceptually resembles a Space Echo, but there are differences. Space Echo uses a spring reverb, which you might have feelings about, whereas Lunar Lander gives us 3 distinct plates by contrast, among other differences which are similarly coloristic. And once you start using Lunar Lander, you quickly notice it has its own vibe and sound. So let's explore that. We've got a piano track here. Let's turn the delay all the way down so we can focus on the reverb. As you can hear, this is a relatively small plate. Gives us a sense of space and blends unobtrusively. Second plate has much more depth and a bit of warble. Third plate, larger still, and like the others, has this dark, dusty quality. Can take pristine sources, give them personality. Now, there's more to say about the reverb. In fact, you can go under the hood and change some of the reverb parameters, which I always appreciate as an option. But for now, let's hop over to the delay side of Lunar Lander. And I'm going to turn the wet all the way up, so we're just hearing the sound of the delay, which you can hear is quirky, lo-fi, and even a bit noisy, which is characteristic of the Bucket Brigade devices that it's modeled after. And the noise is independently controllable. Take it away, it can sound sterile. Bring it back, it's organic and alive. Regen is how much of the delay is fed back into itself. Bring it up enough, and you set off an unending avalanche, which is great for creating complex soundscapes and pads. Mod depth and rate control an LFO on the delay line. And if used without any regeneration, we can get this tape-like wobble. Let's roll back the BBD noise a little bit and push into the saturation stage. Bypassed. And you can hear, just running through Lunar Lander like a tone box, we get a sound full of mystique. Now we'll hop over to a synth track, see what it can do with this pluck. And we'll use Lunar Lander like a proper delay this time. We're generating an 8th note pulse, locked to the DAW tempo. You have all of your expected rhythmic units here. Quarter note, 16th. I don't find this to be the most visually beautiful implementation, but it is easy to understand, and you can also select dotted rhythms or triplet rhythms. And say what you will about how this looks, it's certainly easier to use than the inscrutable dial on the Space Echo. Now, this is already a pretty good sound, but let's refine it a bit, see if we can do better. Let's bring up the noise and the modulation. Now it's coming to life. Let's thicken it with some saturation. And let's try a touch of reverb. Filter the highs and lows with bandwidth. Cool. Now, I do want to show you a bug. For whatever reason, after you turn certain dials, this menu, the one where we select the rhythmic unit of the DAW sync, becomes impossible to bring up. I can imagine they'll fix it This is the version they gave me as final. This is my experience. We can still change to the dotted quarter, so let's go with that. Okay, moving on. This is a built-in ducking feature. If there's direct signal, it pushes down or ducks the delay line. It's convenient to have. Yeah, let's see where we are. So while the interface could definitely use some refinement, Lunar Lander sounds good. It's fun to use. All right, now we're going to explore maybe my favorite aspect of Lunar Lander, which is setting it off on wild excursions and playing it a bit like an instrument. This is a raw DI guitar. It's a pretty good starting place, but let's kill the delay for now. Let's first bring up the signal, generate some harmonics. In fact, let's also bring up the output volume, because this was recorded pretty cold. And we can use this to actually swap the order of the modules. Get a little bit of room sound from the reverb. Or more of a tail. Stay with that second plate. Darken it up, a little more length. Let's get the delay in. Bring up that modulation and the noise. Now that we have an interesting tone going, let's bring up the regen till it starts to self-oscillate. Are you hearing that halo starting to linger? It's exaggerated. At this point, we don't even need the source signal anymore. The delay will perpetuate itself forever. And now we can start playing the parameters to create an evolving soundscape. Let's reel that delay back in from the brink. Lean on modulation opens a portal to psychedelia. This has all been with the 8th note tap, but if we remove the DAW sync, we can move the delay time in continuous increments, creating these time-warping scrub effects. If you hold Alt while moving the dial, the increments are very small. Time just slows down. If we remove the wash of the reverb tail, you can start to hear the individual delays poke through again. Leaving us this destabilizing cascade, truly extraterrestrial. And you can get totally swept away, creating galaxies of sound with Lunar Lander. All from this. You can see where it really counts. Lunar Lander is a bit interesting. It's not your one-stop shop for all possible delay sounds, but what it does have is a distinct, characterful tone. In particular, I like the touches of quirky noise, organic modulation, and the performative freedom to go completely rogue. And if they can clean up the bugs, make the interface a bit more slick, stylistically cohesive, I could see this becoming a cult favorite. Alright, if you want to pick up Lunar Lander, link in the description. That's all for now. I'm Zahir Gold. I'll see you next time.